What stupid rule did your mom make that destroyed your entire family? My mom banned all conversation at dinner after 6 p.m. I made a joke about her haircut, saying it looked like someone put a bowl on her head and cut around it. Dad and my sister laughed milk out of their noses. Mom slammed her fork down. Since nobody can be respectful during dinner, there will be no talking after 6 p.m. at this table. Ever. We thought she was joking. She wasn't. The next night at 6:15, Dad started telling us about work. Mom pointed at the clock, then put her finger to her lips. Seriously? Dad whispered. Mom nodded. That first silent dinner was awkward, but funny. We made faces when Mom wasn't looking. Dad pretended to be trapped in a box. My sister wrote "help me" and ketchup on her plate, but the silence rule didn't stay funny. It spread beyond dinner. When Grandma called during meals, Mom wouldn't answer. When important calls came in, she let them go to voicemail. "We're eating," she'd say to nobody. Dad started coming home later. Working overtime, he claimed, until I spotted his car at a diner. Through the window, I saw him chatting with a waitress. Just talking. The thing he couldn't do at home. My sister stopped talking almost entirely. She wrote everything down instead. Notes on the fridge, post-its on mirrors. Need money for field trip. Soccer practice canceled. Her teacher started calling home, concerned. She hasn't spoken in class for 3 weeks. Mom's solution was to extend dinner time. First to 8 p.m., then to 9 p.m. 3 hours of enforced silence every night. I was trying to make the basketball team. I practiced free throws for hours. At tryouts, I made 8 out of 10 shots. When the roster was posted, my name wasn't on it. Coach pulled me aside. "I emailed your parents about extra practice. They never responded. The email came during dinner. Mom deleted it without telling me. Then came the night that broke us. I was on my phone under the table when a text came in. My best friend's dad had died suddenly. I gasped. Mom's head snapped up. "My friend's dad just died," I said. "I need to call him." Mom pointed at the clock. 7:43 p.m. She slid her notepad across the table. I was supposed to write my condolences instead of calling my grieving friend. I pushed my chair back. "Are you serious? He just lost his dad." Mom pointed at the clock again. Dad put down his fork. "For God's sake, let him call his friend. Rules exist for a reason," Mom said. "What reason?" Dad asked. "What possible reason justifies this?" Mom didn't answer. That night I heard them fighting. "This has gone too far," Dad said. "Your son's friend lost his father and you wouldn't let him talk about it. Once you start making exceptions, the whole system falls apart," Mom said. "What system?" Dad snapped. "The one where our family never communicates?" The next morning, Dad's pillow was on the couch. A week later came the moment that tore us apart. During silent dinner, someone knocked. Dad's brother walked in, looking shaken. "There's been an accident," he said. "Your parents were..." Mom cleared her throat and pointed at the clock. "What's going on?" my uncle asked. "I drove 2 hours to tell you your parents were in a car crash and you're pointing at a clock? We don't talk during dinner," Mom said. "They could be dying and you're worried about dinner rules?" Dad stood up. "That's it. I'm done." He grabbed his keys and left with his brother. Grandma survived. Grandpa didn't. At the funeral, Dad and his brother stood on one side. Mom, my sister, and I stood on the other. After the funeral, Dad packed a suitcase. "I'm staying away for a while," he told me. That turned into divorce papers. At the custody hearing, the judge asked which parent I wanted to live with. "Dad," I said without hesitation. "Why?" "Because at Dad's apartment, we talked during dinner." My sister stayed with Mom. She'd been silent for so long, she developed a fear of speaking. Her therapist called it selective mutism, caused by Mom's rule. During all this, I found Mom's journal. In it, she wrote about her childhood. Her father screamed at them during dinner every night. She'd sworn her children would never experience that trauma, so instead she created a different kind of trauma. 2 years later, Mom still keeps her silent dinner rule, even living alone. My sister says Mom starts dinner at 4 p.m. now, stretching it until 9 p.m. 5 hours of silence in an empty house. Last month, my sister turned 18 and moved in with Dad and me. Mom didn't try to stop her. How could she? That would require talking. I drive by sometimes. Through the window, I see Mom sitting alone at the dinner table. The silence has no one left to silence, all because of one joke about